Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right. I've been wanting to cover this for a while, but I've had so many other things to cover, but we got to get into this. Texas A&M, an absolute dumpster fire. I mean, you got to be kidding me with what's going on there. And what they have paid this guy, a king's ransom. Almost $100 million this contract is for Jimbo Fisher, and they extended it. So that makes it even tougher for him. Now, one of the reasons they extended it is there were some people interested in hiring him, especially after he had the #1 recruiting class last year. I mean, if you saw that recruiting class, I'll show it to you. It's absurd if you hadn't seen it. And this might be the greatest recruiting class in the history of football. You go down through here, this was painful. Walter Nolan out of Powell, Tennessee, somebody that should be on the Vols. He should transfer. Look at this, 5-star, 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 all, look at this, right down the line. Like, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's just crazy. And 3 of these guys are suspended, okay? Understand that of the, 8 of the 5-stars, 3 of them are suspended indefinitely. So there's a lot of problems at Texas A&M, but I mean, this class is crazy. I mean, it was absurd. That's one of the reasons why Alabama, Nick Saban went so nuts on it, because they've got that oil money down there and that NIL money, and that obviously played a big role in this. So that's one of the reasons why they extended his contract. And if you look at their 2023 recruiting class, they've got 11 commits, but I mean, they're all really good. Look at the 5-star, super high 4-star, super high 4-star, same thing here, here, here. I mean, it's not like this is a bad class. Any team would like to have these guys, but it's not 2022, obviously. And the reality is, I think after this season, there's going to be a lot of transfers. It's one of the reasons why I feel really good about Tennessee's recruiting for this year, coming up for 23, is that I think some of these big transfers out of whether it's Texas A&M, Auburn, or any of these teams that are going to either fire their coach or they're having a terrible season, they can just leave. And they can go to a place that scores like crazy, the crowd base is unbelievable, and they've got NIL money too. And that's good old Tennessee right there, that T right there. That's where instead of Texas, they need to be going to this orange, Tennessee. And when you know you're in trouble is when Dan Mullen comes to your aid. It says, Dan Mullen comes to Jimbo Fisher's defense, adds, I think they can get it turned around, et cetera. And we're going to take, and I just, we can sit here and look at this all we want. But he's got a lot of consistencies with these big-time coaches like Jimmy Sexton's his agent. And when he was down at Florida State, he turned that into this big contract. And we're going to let's look at this guy's career and why I think he's failing at Texas A&M. All right, here's his record at Florida State. Out of 14 games, he was 10-4, then 9-4, then 12-2. Here's his wins here's where he won the national title. They were 14-0 that year in 2013. And then they were real solid, 13, 10, and 10. And then all of a sudden he had a bad year and he went 5-6 at Florida State. So Texas A&M hired him. And he did, okay at Texas A&M, but not that good. So he had that one unbelievable year at Florida State and then had another great one right after that. But here's the reality. Playing in the ACC and playing in the SEC is completely different. They are not the same conferences. They're not comparable in any way, shape, or form. So just because you're successful in the ACC does not mean you're going to be successful in the SEC.
Logical.
That's right. Spock knows. He would know. Because the reality is, if you're in the ACC, it's just so much easier. I mean, think about the teams you're playing compared to playing Alabama, LSU, now Tennessee, Georgia, Ole Miss now. I mean, that's 5 teams right there that are literally just about all in the top 10. And who are you going to play in the top 10 in the ACC? That's how many teams are in the top 10 in the ACC. I don't know, maybe Clemson is, and they don't deserve to be there. They have barely hung on and won a bunch of games against crap teams. The reality is the ACC is filled with a bunch of teams that are basically the London Silly Nannies.
Player? Oh, yes, Peter. Welcome to the Silly Nannies. I'm the quarterback, Leslie. This is our team.
That's right. Look, I'm sorry. That's just the case. They swing around the maypole and, it is what it is. And I do understand why they spent almost $100 million on this guy. That recruiting class is one of the best I've ever, it's probably the best in the history of college football. I'm pretty sure it is. And then on top of it, they're thinking, you know, hey, he had that good year during the COVID year when he was 10-0, and he's been a winner, and let's just go ahead and lock him up. There were a couple teams sniffing around, thinking maybe they could hire him away. So they got nervous and they extended him, and now they're stuck with this deal that's right at $100 million.
$100 billion.
Gentlemen, silence.
Oh crap! He meant to say $100 million.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, Dr. Evil. It's not your fault. You didn't get us all in this mess. But here's what almost $100 million get you. Look where they're 1-6 in the SEC, 3-7 total. They've lost 6 in a row. They're 0-4 away and 2-3 at home. 3-7 total. So $100 million gets you a 3-7 record. 1-6 in the SEC. I mean, even Auburn's ahead of them. It's just unreal. Vanderbilt has a better record than they do. They're 4-6. And I can tell you there's a lot of cussing going on down in College Station. I mean, a bunch. I'd show you some of it, but you don't need to hear that.
You don't need to hear things like that. You just a boy. You need to think about good thoughts while you're still a boy.
That's right. You're just a boy. Anyway, look, I don't see any easy fix for Texas A&M. I don't know if you've seen that guy's playbook. It's the most complicated offense in the country. He's got a playbook that's about this thick. You see him on the sidelines with his glasses, and he's going through all that, and I'm sitting there going, those kids are 18, 19, 20 years old. Do you think they're going to learn that playbook the way you know it? It's too complicated. You need to simplify it. And look, it probably worked in the ACC. It's not going to work in the SEC. You'd better get you an offensive coordinator. And that's tough because that's what he's known for. So I don't know, man. This business of hiring people from the ACC and bringing them into the SEC, that's a mistake.
Learn it. Know it. Live it.
Well,
you know, I just did a video on Lane Kiffin. It was this one right here. And they're talking about hiring Lane Kiffin for Auburn, offering him a bunch of money similar to Jimbo Fisher's deal. And they're also talking to Dabo Swinney. I would not hire Dabo Swinney from the ACC. He has not proven he can win in the SEC. This guy, whether you like him or not, he's a winner in the SEC with a team that's not as talented. So this is a better investment, unfortunately, for, for Tennessee fans who don't want to see this guy succeed. He's the better coach, in my opinion, than Dabo. And I would hire him and pay him the big money before I would Dabo. He's not proven in the most important and best league in the country by far, the SEC. Not that I'm biased or anything. But anyway, I've been wanting to cover this because I just can't believe it. I cannot believe how bad this team has looked this year. It's been terrible. And the amount of money they're paying is just, it's incredible. And I think a lot of those players, those 5 stars, are probably going to transfer. Certainly the suspended ones probably will. And there's probably going to be more after that because those guys are not going to sit there and hang around on a 3-7 team very long when there's plenty of NIL money elsewhere. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the SEC and, of course, the Vols, my team. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Just started this about 4 months ago. Could use some subscribers. I sure could. Just hit that button. Anyway, I hope you did like the content. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.